Today we're going to be talking about multiplying and dividing rational numbers, and just like the other skills, we're going to be using our same negative number skills for integers that we used for fractions and decimals. So here's just a review. When you multiply decimals, you just multiply across. When you divide, you have to divide by the reciprocal, copy, change, flip. So our first example, negative 5 1/5 divided by 2 1/3. We should estimate to make sure our answer that we get is reasonable. So negative 5 1/5 is close to negative 5, and 2 1/3 is close to 2. And 5 divided by 2 is 2.5, and a negative divided by positive is a negative. So our answer should be somewhere around negative 2.5. So step one, we need to turn our mixed numbers into improper fractions. So we do denominator times numerator. 5 times 5 is 25, plus 1 is 26. So I get 26 over 5, but I need to keep my negative. So I'm going to keep my negative. I like to put it in the numerator. I'm not doing my copy, change, flip now because I might make a mistake. So I'm going to convert to improper fractions first. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. So I get 7 over 3. So I have negative 26 fifths divided by 7 thirds. When I rewrite that, I copy the first number, negative 26 over 5, change divide to multiply, and then use the reciprocal, 3 over 7. So I get negative 26 fifths times 3 sevenths. So now I multiply across. 26 times 3 I can't do in my head. So I'm going to go ahead and work that out over here. So 26 times 3. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So that'll be 78, but a negative times a positive is a negative. So I get negative 78 over 5 times 7 is 35. And I want to check to see if that is about 2.5. So I'm going to do some quick division here just to check. Does 35 go into 78? Yes, it goes in 2 times. That would be 70. And 35 does go into 80 2 times, so it will be approximately 2.5. So our answer is reasonable.
So for this problem, we have negative 2.5 times 3.6. So first we're gonna set up our equation. So we always want, when we're doing multiplication like this, we always want to match up our decimals. And then we always want to line them up on the right. So what we're going to do with this one is we're going to start with 0.6. We're going to do 0.6 times 2.5. So first 0.6 times 0.5, that's 30. So we've got a 0 here, we've got a 3 up here. And we got 6 times 0.6 times 2. And so we got 3, 6 times, or 0.6 times 2 is 12. So we got negative 12, or negative 12 plus negative 3, so that'd be 15. So negative 15. And then we got 3 times, and then we got 3 times 0.5 and 2. So 3 times 5, 15, 5. We have a 1 over here. And then 3 times 2, 6. Add the 1, 7. So I actually accidentally put that there. We should have the decimal over here instead of there. So we have both these are negative because we're multiplying, the negative goes to both. We got negative 1.5 and negative 7.5. We add these together, and 0.5 and 0.5, you get 10, or we get 1, but we put 1 over here. So we got 1, negative 1 plus negative 1 plus negative 7. So that will give us negative 9.
And now we're going to do a real life application. An investor owns stocks A, B, and C. What is the mean change in the value of the stocks? So if you don't remember from 6th grade, mean is the same thing as average, which is where you take the sum, so you add them all up, and then you divide by how many there are. So I can see the original value and the current value, but we don't care about those. We only care about the change. So we're trying to find the change. So we need to add these up. So I'm going to add my negatives together first, because I know when I add negatives, I just add them together. So I have negative 180.39 plus negative 280.52. And I know that these will just add together because they're both negative, so nothing cancels out. So 9 plus 2 is 11. 5 plus 3 plus 1 is 9. 0, 8 plus 8 is 16, 2, 3, 4. So I get 46091, but I need to bring down the decimal. And remember, they're both negative, so I'll start with negative $460.91. But now I need to put together my positives, my positive with my negatives. So even though I'm adding 127.28 plus negative 460.91, I know that I'm actually going to be subtracting because they will cancel out. So I have 4, let me fix that, sorry. I have 460.91. I'm subtracting I'm subtracting my positives. I'm subtracting 127.28. And I know since I have negative 460, but positive 127, whatever my final answer is, it will be a negative. So I subtract, I have to borrow. So I borrow, the 9 becomes an 8, the 1 becomes an 11. So 11 minus 8 is 3. 8 minus 2 is 6. Bring down my decimal. 0 minus 7, I need to borrow again. So 6 becomes a 5 and 0 becomes a 10. So 10 minus 7 is 3. 5 minus 2 is 3, and 4 minus 1 is 3. So I get 333.63. But once again, that was a negative because we have more negatives than positives. And last, I need to still find the average. So I need to divide by how many there are. So there were 3 stocks. So I will take my 333.63 and I will divide it by 3. I know my answer is a negative, and a negative divided by a positive is a negative. So once again, my overall final answer will be negative. 3 goes into 3 one time. 1 times 3. Oh, I should have brought my decimal up first. So 3 goes into 3 1. 1 times 3 is 3. I subtract and I get 0. Looks like this one's going to be easy so far because 3 goes into 3 again. 1. 1 times 3 is 3. I get 0 again. Bring down the next 3. 3 goes into 3 one time. 1 times 3 is 3. I subtract and I get 0 again. Bring down a 6. 3 goes into 6 2 times. I got to scroll down a little bit. Three goes into 3 2. 2 times 3 is 6. So I subtract again and get 0. And I bring down my last 3. And 3 goes into 3 one whole time. And that was a negative. So their average change is a decrease of 111.21, so it's negative 111.21. Now you have 1 more or 2 more examples to try. So please try these. If you can't find the error at first, try working it out on your own the way you know to do it correctly, and then see if maybe you can find the mistake from there. So solve these last two questions and check them with your Edpuzzle video. And you can pause it here to check your work if you need to. Now you're ready to practice.